Okay, so now we're ready to do a few hymns, actually reading it on the music. So this is still going to be only playing one note at a time, but you're going to switch between using the left hand and the right hand. Okay, so the instructions they have here is clap a steady beat and say the rhythmic names of the notes in this hymn. I'm just going to clap the steady beat, but I will not clap where we wouldn't do, but I'll carry on counting. Then play the hymn and say the name of each key as you play it, and then sing the words as you play as well. Okay, and so for this one, we're just going to use between the left and the right hand, we're going to be going. So you're probably familiar with How Gentle God's Commands. So let's just go through it counting first. So as you'll see, we've actually done this hymn before, and you'll see, if you remember, it's got the slurred line that goes from one note to another. It's because we've got gentle, so that's the same syllable, but it's going over two different notes. And this is starting on an upbeat, so you have one note before the actual beginning of the first bar or the first measure, before the bar line that you have there. So this will be beat 3, and then we do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's clap this through. We're going to start on beat 3 because, as I said, we've got this upbeat, and then we'll go through. So it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And of course it ends on beat 2 because beat 3 is in the beginning of the next verse. Okay, so that's the rhythm. We're going to make sure we have the steady rhythm as we're playing it. So now, how are we going to play it? Where do our fingers go? So here our fingers will pretty much stay in the same place throughout. Okay, so our fingers are going to stay in the same place throughout this hymn, which is quite nice. We're going to start with finger 2 in the right hand on the treble clef, and this is the first line. So 11 drafts bend down forward, that's an E. So we're going to start with finger 2 on E, and then for the left hand, finger 1 is going to be on the middle C. So we have finger 1 on middle C over there. And so from time to time, you'll see over here, they've given us some prompts as to where our fingers should be. It isn't moving your hands, it's just a reminder of where it needs to be. So we start with finger 2. So I'm not going to worry about the rhythm right now. So I'm just going to talk you through the notes that you're going to be playing, and then we'll get the rhythm right afterwards. Okay, so we're starting on E, finger 2. So it's E, E, and then we go down to the left hand. That's a C. Then we go back to the E, and one step down to the D, and we go to our left hand. One note down from where we were on the C, come down to the B, and then we go back to the D, and we go to middle C, and then we stick, that's commands, and then how is on the same notes, and kind, do the C, and then down to an A, and then his precepts has a repeated middle C, and then we're going to go down to, it tells us finger 4, and you can see there, that is a G. All cows eat grass. Okay, so you don't want to have to be thinking about this rhyme all the time, but you want to be making sure that you're getting your fingers in the right places. So G, and then back to the C, and then we're going to step down to a B. And then we're going to go the D in the treble clef. So come cast, and we slow down to a B in the left hand, back up to D, and then a C, E, G, and we go G, D, F, and then step down to the E, and we're going to skip F, go up to G, and we've got finger 5 on A, step down to G, skip down to E, F, step down, middle C, D, middle C. Okay, so even though I was talking through that, you can probably hear the tune coming out. Okay, but now I'm going to play it much more smoothly for you. I'm going to count out the rhythm while we're doing it so we can make sure the rhythm is right, and then I'll sing it with you. This is going to take you some time to get the coordination right, the fingers and everything, but just give yourself some time. So listen to me playing it, play it for yourself. Try and do it a few times. Re-listen to me playing it. Does it sound the same? If it doesn't sound right, try and see what I'm doing and make sure that you're doing the same thing on your keyboard. So take some time to be practicing it. So I'm going to do this now, counting out the rhythm. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so that should sound familiar now. Okay, so now I'm going to sing along with it. So once you feel like you can do it more or less keeping pace, then it's really good to start singing with, because when you're singing for the congregation, if you can be singing with the congregation, it helps you to connect with the music and to actually kind of keep up with the congregation. And when you start playing for a congregation, it is very likely you're going to make mistakes. And what it also helps you then to do is to learn to just carry on, skip past whatever mistake it was, find your place, and you carry on playing. So when you're playing, if you actually listen carefully to the person who's playing for your sacrament meeting, even if they're very experienced musicians, they're probably making mistakes. And if you know what you're listening for, you may well be able to pick up on those mistakes. But what they're able to do, because of their experience, is they just carry on. It doesn't mean that you have to stop. You just carry on with the music. And so that's the skill that you're wanting to do. So by singing along, it helps you to feel like I need to carry on and not stop because I made a mistake. Okay, so let's do this now with singing along. How gentle God's commands, how kind His precepts are. Come cast your burdens on the Lord and trust His constant care. Okay, so that's a song you can be practicing quite a few times until you have it right. When you feel like you got that one right, then you can move to the next one. Okay, so the next one we're going to do now is Jesus, the very thought of thee. So again, we're just going to clap it so that you can get the rhythm. So there's maybe one that you're familiar with. It may not be as familiar, but maybe listen to it in the Gospel Library app if you don't know the hymn, so that you can hear how it's supposed to sound before you're doing this as well. Okay, so this is in 3/4 time without an upbeat, so you're just going to start on beat 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's the rhythm. Now let's see where we're going to be placing our hands and how we're going to play it. So we start in the left hand. Finger 2 is going to be on the first line. So 11 drafts bend down forward. So that's an E. So there's our E just to the left of just to the right of the 2 black notes, just above it. We're going to put finger 2 on this one. So you're going to have finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So finger 2 is going to be there. And in the left hand, the first time we play a left hand note is over here. Finger 2, and this is just below middle C, that's the B. So it's just above the top line as well. So Gumboots Dancing for Africa, that's an A. So there's A between the top 2 of the black notes, and B is going to be just above it, the one note up. So we're going to start with our finger 2 on B, and we're going to go up from there. And yeah, our fingers stay in the same place throughout for this one as well. So we don't need to move our hands, because that's the next thing that's going to be happening. Is you're going to need to actually move your hands while you're playing. It doesn't stay in the same place all the time. So let's start with finger 2. I'm just going to play through it once. I'm going to talk you through what the notes are and how we're transitioning between the notes. So the rhythm won't be right for this one. We're just going to talk through it, and then I'll do it with the proper rhythm so you can hear how it's supposed to be. Okay, so we start with finger 2 on E, for the right hand, and finger 2 is going to be on B for the left hand. So we start with E, and we have 3 repeated notes, E, 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 and then we step down to a D, and then we step up to a E, and then again up to F, and then we come down to the bass clef for this B, and then we step up to a C. Then we go down to a G, finger 4. So there's finger 4 on G, 3 repeated notes, and then finger 2 in the right hand, and then we step down to D, and we repeat that, and then we skip up to a C, skip up to an F. So 2 notes on F, and then we step down to E, step down to D, and then we carry on stepping down, but we switch over to the left hand, and we carry on stepping down, and we step down again, and we step down again. And then we do on that same note, which is a G. So we're going to G, and then step to A, skip to C, and then we skip again to E, and then step down to a D, and then finally we end on middle C with our left hand. Okay, so that's the notes that we're going to be playing and how you're going to navigate the stepping and the skipping. So remember, as you're playing, as long as you know where to start, you don't actually need to necessarily be reading every single note and thinking, okay, that's an E, now we're playing an F, now we're playing a C, now we're doing a D. And you don't have to do that, although it's helpful to help you reinforce it. But you can also just be reading relative to where I was, that's on the line, now I'm going down to the space below it, now I'm going up to the line, now I'm going up to the space. And we're over here, we're going from a line, we're skipping up to the next line. So we're going to miss the note in between. So you can read relative to where you were, as well as thinking about every single note. And it's kind of a combination of the two that you'll end up doing when you get more experience. Right, but let's go through it then with the correct rhythm. So you can make sure that it's right. I'm going to count the rhythm as I'm playing, and then we'll do it again singing the words. Okay, so starting on E. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So as I'm doing this, I'm realizing also I'm at a stage where I think that you should be fine with knowing, okay, these are 1-beat notes and those are 2-beat notes, and then we come to a 3-beat note. So you can see already you're comfortable with one aspect of reading music, which is how long each note is held for. And now the next thing is, okay, how do I read it on the actual staff, on the stave, and how do I translate it to what's on the keyboard? So your skills are building bit by bit, which is exciting to be thinking about. Okay, so now let's do this again. I'm going to sing the words with. So you remember, you want to get to a point where you're singing the words as well. So practice it a number of times until you can be singing as well as just playing, and making sure you're keeping the rhythm while you're doing that. Okay, so we start with an E. Jesus, the very thought of thee with sweetness fills my breast, but sweeter far thy face to see, and in thy presence rest. Okay, so there's another hymn that you can play now. Now we're going to go on to the next one, which is a saccharine hymn, Jesus Once of Humble Birth. Okay, and this one is going to be a little bit different because we have one version of it which is just for the left hand, and then on the next page we have the same hymn, but we're going to play it with the right hand. Okay, and what we're going to do now is you're going to have to move your hand. So we're going to start. Finger 1 is going to be on a G. So all cows eat grass. So G between the bottom 2 notes in the set of 3. And we're going to start over there, and then you can see there's finger 1 over there, and then finger 1 is going to need to be on the note above it. So there we have that space. We're going to go to the line. So we're going to have to go from there. We're going to have to move finger 1 and then be in a new position. And then over here, we're going to move finger 1. Finger 1 is going to move all the way again up to there. So we're going to move our hand around while we're doing it. But let's first do the basics. Let's clap out the rhythm first so that you can make sure you're doing it correctly. So remember, these are 2 beat notes, 1 beat notes. There's a 3 beat note. So make sure that you're reading the rhythm of the notes correctly as you're clapping it out, and then we're going to be looking at where to place your fingers. Okay, so let's clap it. And it's a 3/4 time without an upbeat. So you're going to have the beats, 3 beats in a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's our rhythm. Now let's see where we need to be placing our hands, and let's talk through the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to start on the G, like we said. So you're going to put finger 1 on G. You're going to skip down to an E, and then go back up to the G, and go back down to the E. And then we're going to go back to the G and step down to the F just below it. But now we're going to move finger 1. So we had it played it the G. Now it says from there you want to place finger 1 on A. So you're going to move your hand. But finger 4, so you can't just say 1, 2, 3, 4. They want finger 4 to be on a D. Okay, so we're going to skip 5 notes down. So go to finger 4 being on D. And then we're going to play 4 again and step up and up to the F, and then step down again. And from this E, this is where you now need to, as you go from one line to the next, you can't just think relative to the next note over, reading from left to right. You're going to have to remember, okay, so that's an E. Now we're going one line down to an D, and step down to the C, D, and step up to E. Now we're going to skip the F. We're going to go to G, E, G again, and then E, G, F, and we're going to again have this moving our hand to the A and step down to the G. Now we're going to move finger 1 again. So because your thumb and your index finger, you can move quite wide. Often you use your thumb to do a bigger interval or to move your hand, because that's just how our fingers work naturally to be able to do that. So that works quite well. So from finger 2 playing on the G, you're going to move your hand, open your hand up so that your finger 1 goes on to middle C, and you're going to step down and then do middle C again. Now we're going to open our hand again, and finger 2 is going to go to G. But now they're saying you need to open your hand quite a bit, because now finger 3 is going to go a skip down. So you're going to skip that and then skip down to F again. So from E, you're going to play C, and then finger 1 will comfortably play the G. So we're going to go, so there's our interval over there. It's a fifth. And then finger 4 is not a move. You just can play finger 4 on D and step up to E and then F, and then step down and D, E, C, D, and you end on the C over there. Okay, so hopefully you could hear the tune coming out there. Now I'm going to play it. I'm going to count out the rhythm so you can make sure that the rhythm is correct as you're playing it. Obviously, we weren't doing the correct rhythm for the most part as we were playing that now. So watch how I move my hands, and then you want to be practicing playing in the same way, moving your hands between the different keys so that you're getting an appropriate movement. Because this is still early days, they're giving you suggestions of how to move your hands. Later on, you're going to have to figure out your own fingering and how to move between the different notes, because very infrequently will your hands stay in a single position. They're normally moving around across the keyboard. But that's part of the practicing that you need to do, and why just sitting down and sight reading can be difficult, because you haven't had a chance to figure out the fingering and how you need to move your hands. So let's start and play it through from the beginning, and I'll count out the rhythm. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let's try it. Once you've got that nice and smooth, then you can do it singing along like I'm going to do now. Jesus once of humble birth, now in glory comes to earth. Once he suffered grief and pain, now he comes on earth to reign. Now he comes on earth to reign. Okay, so now you've done it with the left hand. Now we can go over to doing it with the right hand. So the rhythm is exactly the same, so we don't need to clap it out again. But what we want to do now is we want to figure out where you need to be placing your hands. And because it's the same tune, if we have to be moving our hands for the left hand, we're going to have to be moving the hand for the right hand as well. So we want to see where we have to be moving our hands for this one. Okay, so we're going to start with finger 3 being on the second line. So 11 giraffes, bend down forward. So it's a G. So just to the, between the bottom 2 of the 3 black notes. Okay, so finger 3 is going to sit over there, and we're going to skip down to E. We're going to go back up to the G, and we're going to go to the E again, and then G, F, A, and then a D. So here we're moving, our finger 1 was on the E. Now we're going to move down to the D. And then it says immediately they want you to change for the next note, change finger 2 to be playing that repeated note. Now, and then we're going to step up, and then we're going to step up again, and then step down, and then we're going to, that's from an E, we're going to come down to a D, A, C, D, E. So we're doing this step down and a step back up like that. Then it says we want to jump completely. We want a finger 3 to come up to be on the G, and then we're going to do that G, E, G again, and then back to E, G, F, A, back to the G, and now finger 5 is going to have to jump up to be a C, and then step down finger 4 and back to the C. And now we're going to have to open our hand. So this isn't being able to open up between our finger and our thumb and our second finger. We're going to have to now stretch your hand a bit to be able to go from finger 5 to open, to go down to finger 3 being on the G, and then down to 2, and then down to 1. And then we can just now bring our hand back together for 5. And then finger 2 going to be on the D, step up to E to F. And then we're going to step down again, and then carry on down, and just one more up, and then down to middle C to end it. Okay, so different kind of movements that we need to do for the right hand to be able to do this. So I'm going to now play this, counting the rhythm, so you can make sure that the rhythm is correct. And then I'll sing it. But this is one, again, you're going to have to practice it. Make sure that you get your hands moving in the right way so that you can navigate moving between the different notes. So I'm going to count it as I do it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now let's do that with playing and singing at the same time. But before you try singing, make sure that you first have it play, that you can play it quite comfortably. Okay, so we start with finger 3 on the G. Jesus once of humble birth, now in glory comes to earth. Once he suffered grief and pain, now he comes on earth to reign. Now he comes on earth to reign. Okay, now we have one more hymn that we're going to be doing in this video. Okay, so this is another one of our sacrament hymns, God Loved Us So He Sent His Son. So again, we're going to clap out the rhythm and then we'll actually start playing it. So this is in 4/4 time, but this one, how long is this note? This is a hollow note with the line going up, so this counts 2 beats. So we have 2 beats and then we have a full 4 beats. So that 2 plus at the end of the verse, you have another 2 beats. So that 2 plus that 2 make up the 4 beats altogether. So we can actually have 3/4 as the first 2 beats, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have, remember this over here, we have a kind of a curve with a dot in the middle. That's a fermata or a pause. And so on these notes, there are a few of them at the end of each phrase. On that, we're going to pause and hold it longer than just the plain 2 beats, which is what it is written as. So we have a bunch of 1 beat notes, crotchets or quarter notes, and then minims or half notes, which are 2 beats. And here we have a half note, but we're going to hold it on this pause. And yeah, those are all the notes that we have. So let's first count out the rhythm and then we'll start putting it to music. Okay, so we have 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. Okay, so that's the rhythm. Now let's see where we want to be placing our hands. So it starts with, this version is the bass clef, and then the next page is going to be the treble clef. So we're going to start with finger 5, and it says we need to go all cows eat grass, so that's a C. And it's this, not middle C, it's 1 octave down. So just to the left of the 2 black notes. So we're going to start with finger 5. So again, I'm going to just play through it, kind of talking through what the notes are, and then we'll do it with the correct rhythm. So we're going to start on finger 5, and then we repeat it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we step up to a D on finger 4. We're going to skip up to an F with finger 2, and then we step down to an E. Now, we've gone from finger 4, it says we need to skip up to this note over here, but we need to skip up to having finger 4 over there so that we can play the rest of the melody, which is much higher. So if you're doing that, I sometimes will play with that, and then I'll skip over to finger 4 being there while it's down. But you can also just lift up your hand and you can do that and play it directly like that. So the technique I have of kind of switching my fingers while it's down, that comes from also playing the organ, and later on in the keyboard course you can look at how playing an organ is different to playing a piano. But that's a technique I kind of learned as I was playing the organ, and I think I've transferred that into my piano playing, taken it back into my piano playing. Anyway, so we're going to start with finger 4 now on this G, and we then are going to repeat that G 4 times, and then we skip up all the way up to middle C, and then we skip down to an A, and then step down to a G. Then it says finger 5. Now that's a little, you can stretch your finger like that, but it's easier to just lift your hand, and it is a new phrase as well, so you can be lifting your hand and having a break in the music. So we're going to do finger 5 on a D now, D, and then repeat, 3, and then we're going to step up, and then we're going to skip up to G, and then step down, F, E, back down to a D, and then it says finger 2, which is where it should be anyway, for G, and then we're going to repeat it again, except we're going to step up, and then we're going to, they say finger 2, so instead of just going to the next one, you're going to skip down to an F, and then you're going to step down to E, D, and we're going to end on C. Okay, so those are the notes. Now let's do that with the proper rhythm so you can hear how that goes. So I'm going to count it out as we're playing. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. Okay, now let's do that one more time, but with singing the word. God loved us so he sent his Son, Christ Jesus the atoning one, to show us by the path he trod, the one and only way to God. Okay, so now you've got another sacrament hymn that you can play. So now let's go and do that with the right hand. So it's the same rhythm, so we're not going to clap the rhythm, but let's see where you need to place your fingers. So we're going to start this one on middle C with finger 1. So we're going to play finger 1, and we're going to repeat C, 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 step up to a D, skip up to an F, and then step down to an E, and we pause. And then it's saying again, move up to finger 2. So what I naturally did there was I held down, changed to finger 1 over there, and then I moved up to 2 like that. You don't have to do that though. You can just move your hand to a number 2. It's just out of habit that I'm doing that. So 2 on G, and then we're going to repeat 2, 2, 2 on G, and then we skip up to a C, and then skip down to an A, and then step to a G. And then finger 1, here you should be able to just move your hand, keeping it open. So come down to a D, and repeat the D, and then step up and skip to a G, and then step down, F, E, D, and then finger 4 goes back to that G, and then finger 4, G, 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 go up to A, and then here we need to open our hand a bit so you can go to finger 4 on F, and then step down to E, D, and then we end on middle C. Okay, so now I'm going to play that with the correct rhythm. I'm going to count out the rhythm so you can hear that, and then I'll do it with singing it, and then that will be the end of this video. Okay, so again, we're starting on beat 3 because of that upbeat, which is half of the bar, and then the other half of the bar is sitting in the last line. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. Okay, and then I'm going to do it with singing it. God loved us so he sent his Son, Christ Jesus the atoning one, to show us by the path he trod, the one and only Okay, so now you have a few hymns to be practicing, a few hymns to be playing, and as you're reading the music and as you're reading and translating that into what is actually being played on the keyboard, you're just improving your skills all the time. So in the next video, we're going to start adding in what we call accidentals, which is sharps and flats, and using the black keys for the first time. So please come and join me for that one, but I hope you have a lot of fun practicing what we've done so far. Remember, it's going to take time, so just be patient with yourself, but the more you practice, the better you're going to get. That's a guarantee. So see you in the next one.